My name is Tyler McKinley. I go to Warner Hills High School in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I'm in class of 2024, and I'm undecided right now.
Tyler McKinley, welcome to What's in Your Bag.
Thanks for having me.
No problem, man. Now, I've known you for a long time. You were like that big.
Yeah.
And your brother Alex played in our Shining Star AAU basketball program. And I remember years ago, he was talking about you. You were little. And he said, Tyler's going to be a problem. So I'm excited to have you on here. Really excited to hear about your journey. And we wanted to get you on earlier in the year, but we have some scheduling issues. But I think the timing to having you on now is perfect. I mean, you had an amazing high school season. You're blowing up on the AAU circuit. The timing and the stars just aligned for you to be here today. And one of the great things about this show is so many young people watch it, and they can get gold nuggets, right, from people's journey. And I think with you being young, a sophomore, there are other sophomores, even freshmen out there that can take something away from your journey and apply it to theirs. So here's what we're going to do today.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about your bag here in a second.
Okay.
And then inside your bag, I ask you to bring 3 items.
All right.
A pair of shoes, and then 2 items that represent your journey in life in basketball.
Sure.
Now, the beauty of the interview is I don't know what you brought in.
Sure.
So it's going to be free flowing. We're going to have a lot of fun. Okay?
Sure.
You ready?
Yep.
All right. Let's start with your bag.
All right, so we got a Nike Elite bag from school ball. I got some EYBL tags to get into the sessions. And it's a pretty simple bag. It's easy to carry around, comfy, and it's small, but it fits everything I need to fit in the bag. So, yeah.
So let me ask you this question. I've never asked a player this. This is the bag you bring to high school basketball games with you? Now, do you take that same bag to school with your books in it?
No.
You have a different bag for that?
Because then why would you want your books to stink?
I just
It's crazy.
You don't want the books to stink?
No, sir.
I thought about that. I was like, I wonder if they use that.
No.
Now, speaking of that, speaking of books, let's talk about Walnut Hills High School. I think, okay, first of all, Walnut Hills is a very, very special school.
Yes, it is.
I think it is the crown jewel of schools in our city, and here's why. High academics.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about that a little bit. The athletics are as good as any.
Mm-hmm.
But most importantly, I think it is very diverse.
Yeah, it really is.
And it mirrors real life in our community. And I think students that leave Walnut Hills are very prepared for the real world. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I do. I feel like that is because, like, speaking of diversity, like, you meet somebody new every day.
Yeah.
I promise you, I've been there since 7th grade, and I meet kids that's been there since 7th grade since I've been there. So I just feel like you have to be outgoing and have a good time at Walnut. Meet new people. Like, I may be an athlete. You may want to just talk to somebody else new, maybe just some random kid you have a conversation with. Just have fun. You a kid still. So that's what I do on a day-to-day basis.
And I love that. And I'm sure a lot of people come up to you just because you're so tall.
Facts.
And want to talk. You get that a lot?
Yeah, like, how tall are you? I'm 6'9". Then we get to talking about life, and it's always a good time.
Yeah, that's great, man. And obviously you had a great season with high school ball, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But I do want to jump into some of your items, and we're going to kind of go through your journey. But with Walnut Hills, they've had a long tradition and really good high school basketball players. Not only good teams, but a lot of good high school basketball players have come out of Walnut. You may not have heard of some of the guys, but Dennis Pierre. You ever heard of Dennis Pierre?
No, sir.
He played, I think he graduated in the 90s. Shout out Dennis Pierre. His nickname was Air Pierre. I think at one point, I don't know if he still is, but he was a leading scorer in Walnut Hills history. Great player. Gabe Robinson. was on track to being, the leading scorer in Walnut Hills history, and he passed away. I don't know if you're familiar with the story.
Yeah, I think it's a plaque up in the junior high gym in Batting. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and in a quick crazy story, I was playing basketball for the University of Cincinnati, and we had just finished playing Louisville, and we were getting ready to head to South Carolina. And I was in the locker room. We picked up a newspaper. This is back when we would read the newspaper.
Yes, sir.
We didn't have cell phones like that back then. And I saw a story that said Gabe Robinson had passed away. They were playing Northwest. I think it was January 30th, 1998. And I remember that date because we played South Carolina February 1st. So I remember that, man. Just so sad, man. And a young man had, his life ended like that. But tremendous basketball player. You look at your brother.
Yeah.
Very good high school basketball player.
Yes, sir.
At Walnut. Then you look at, Maceo Teague. I mean, that's got to be somebody you look up to.
Yes, sir.
With his story and, winning a national championship and making it to the league. You've had an opportunity to talk with Maceo?
Yes, sir. Every time he gets to come in town, I love talking to him because I feel like I'm in his shoes. I started playing at Walnut Hills. I mean, he was on the grind. He was always humble, so I always seem like you don't need to be overly cocky or entertain the media. I just feel like being humble and just keeping your head down, working on yourself on and off the court will get you where you need to be.
No question. And so I was in Vegas during the NBA Summer League. And, the NBA Summer League, it's held where UNLV plays. And we were in the main gym. There's thousands of people there. I think the Lakers were getting ready to play the Knicks. So actually Deuce McBride was getting ready to play. And Maceo was walking through the crowd. He was getting ready to play in a little bit, probably about an hour later with Utah. He came and sat with me, and he talked, man, still a humble, great dude. And the guy who's on the staff, Isaiah Big Dog Johnson.
Yep.
I mean, he was a fantastic player, went on to Akron, right?
Yes, sir.
So so many great players have come out of Walnut, but I want to tell you, you have the opportunity to be better than all of them. You realize that?
Yes, sir.
I love that. Big shoes.
Big shoes. I feel like I can accomplish that, achieve. Yeah, something I always wanted to do since I was a child, watching Alex play and coach. I just feel like I just always wanted to put on that Walnut Hills jersey, just perform every time I can.
Yeah, no question. Speaking of big shoes to fill, I want to talk about your shoes. You know I'm a shoe guy.
Yeah, I got something spicy in there for the first one.
Let's see the shoes. Bring them on out.
I got you. All
right.
Hold on.
Oh, you got to keep it top secret.
Hold on.
I love it. Hold
on. Wait. I need you to turn around.
Oh, man, it's the first time I've had to turn around.
My shoe's a little big, so it's kind of hard to get out the bag a little bit.
Okay, this is going to be like that. Is that good?
Yeah.
Tell me when we're good.
You good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Cove.
Got some Cove, some Bruce Lee 5s. I got them in January. Probably my favorite hoop shoes ever. They're comfortable, light. I just feel like I can move, and I'm playing in Kobe's.
Yeah. How long have you had these?
Since January. I had them the first game back. I had pneumonia, and I was playing with them on. This was my first game back. I had no practice, no nothing. Played against Turpin. And nobody, this is the first time I told it, probably I had pneumonia for 2 weeks straight. And I couldn't breathe, and I was playing. I told second possession in, Coach Carter, I was like, I need one. He talked about no. I said, okay. No. Then it was just it was a fun game, but it was a struggle. So I tapped into that mob mentality.
That's right.
In. Then the fire alarm got pulled mid-game.
I heard about that.
Yeah, it was a fire alarm pulled me again.
That was at Turpin, right?
At Turpin.
Yeah.
So then
and that was close. Wasn't that close to the end of the game?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was like a minute left. And the craziest thing, I'm literally laid out across the steps. It's crazy. You see MJ leaning on Scottie Pippen. That's how it was with the steps. I was just laid out, tired, and I hit 2 big free throws to seal the game. So that's my favorite story about the Kobe's right now.
I love it. Let's talk about this. So obviously, Kobe's shoes, low tops, and I know growing up for me, big players didn't wear low tops.
Mm-mm.
That wasn't happening.
Mm-mm.
And matter of fact, players that played like Kobe didn't wear low tops. It wasn't until Kobe, Steve Nash wore 'em, Michael Bibby, guys like that wore low tops, but it wasn't until a little bit later that people felt comfortable, wearing low tops. But take, for instance, you.
Yep.
6'9".
Yep.
Right?
6'9". Yep.
6'9". How much you weigh right now?
220.
220. Now, obviously, can't have a shoe you're busting out of the shoe like Zion, right?
No, sir.
Right?
No, sir.
But these shoes work well for you.
Yep.
And the one thing I want to talk about, watching your highlights, I saw you play in high school, but even like watching you this past weekend on the AAU circuit, you were doing everything on the court.
Yes, sir.
Shooting threes, Euro, to the basket, post, doing everything. For those that haven't seen you play, talk a little bit about your game.
So my game, my favorite thing to call it is to do anything to win. So post up, perimeter, whatever my coach asks me to do, I feel like I can do it. Shoot the ball, post up, play defense, dive on the floor, play defense. I mean, anything you want me to do, I think I can do it.
I love it. So from your freshman year to the end of your sophomore season, even AAU right now, as a player, how have you grown? What have you improved on?
I feel like in general, mentally, I feel like I've always been good, but I feel like it's always been a mental aspect for me. I've always been in the shell. Now I'm cracking that shell, and I feel like I'm stepping out, and I'm really showing who I really am.
Okay, let's take a deep dive now. How'd you get over that? How'd you improve mentally? For those young people out there watching that are struggling through that.
I feel like for me, mentally, you have to be yourself on and off the court. That's what I've been doing. We focus on being my not caring about what people think.
I like that.
How they think of you, how they see you. Just be yourself. That's how I think.
I love that. Okay, so we've talked about your growth thus far. Let's talk about moving forward from right now to your senior year. Where do you need to improve?
Anything is improvable. So I think I can make my shots better, become more consistent, get in better shape, have a better body, but before senior year, so I can get ready to play at the next level.
I love it. So speaking of next level, college, NBA, are there any players you watch that you mimic, take little things from, and apply to your game?
Kevin Durant is who I see, but a lot of people get shocked when I watch Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum, he does it all. But like KD, he's versatile, offensive, but I think Jason Tatum, I think that's my favorite player.
He's playing well now.
Yeah, he is playing well because he does it all. He does everything he needs to do. He can post up, shoot post fades. He can shoot the three. And he's just a good all-around player. He's a good person.
Very good. So one of the things with that is how skilled both those guys are you're talking about, right? They've got great size, but they're so skilled. Kevin Durant, I don't know how much is on the internet, but I do happen to know a little bit about his off-season workouts. I do know that Tatum has a trainer, and 20,000 reps of shots and all that, and putting in that time in order to be that skilled on the basketball court. Is that something that you're committed to, like really putting in that time in the off season?
Yeah, I'm real committed to off season work. Yeah, I think something I do well is working out with different trainers to get a different feel of the game. So I might work out with my brother, as I worked out for him since I started playing competitive basketball, but I might go work out with D. Davis, or I might go work out with other trainers that give me a different feel for the game, to teach me different things.
I like that. I haven't heard that because most people, they'll stick with one trainer and ride it through.
Yeah, I just feel like it's good to have different people teach you different perspectives of the game so you can read the game, because you ain't able to see the game the same every time. Maybe somebody's playing you different, and the trainer teach you how to get past him or make a better play, playing differently.
Because when you get to that next level, when you get to college and beyond that, you're going to have to be able to do a lot of different things on the court.
Yes, sir.
So getting expertise in different areas from different people is pretty smart. I like that. I like that. All right, let's jump into your first item.
All right.
Do I got to turn my head again?
Yep.
Here we go.
You're going to be surprised. This might be a first.
This might be a first?
Yeah, it might be a first.
I like that. I like first.
So
I love first.
So I got some more kicks.
Oh, we got more kicks?
Yeah, and I got.
Oh, okay. You got.
Yeah, it go together. I got you.
Oh, they go together.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were just pulling out everything.
Nah. So
okay.
So right here we have some LeBron Soldier's breast cancer.
Now these have to be from back in the day.
Back in the day.
There's no way you could fit in these.
With a Chris Mack autograph from Xavier camp. Yeah, and I played in them.
Wow. So this is from camp?
Yeah, this is from camp, but Yeah, it goes. The pink shoes for me go a long way.
Okay, talk about that.
So pink shoes, I don't know. Me being different. So it started when I was younger. I was always competitive. So people always call me the pink shoe kid with the mohawk. So that's how I really got out there. Because pink shoes, you would never see somebody wear pink shoes. But I would be wearing pink shoes, and I'd be 5'6" in the third grade, finger rolling. So it would just add more to the spice. So I don't know. It's just something I started when I was younger, and I do it every so often now.
So real quick, speaking of little nicknames, obviously people call you T-Mac,
Yep.
I would assume. But let me ask you this. Slim Burger. You didn't think I was going to know
I
that.
didn't think you was gonna know that one.
I do my research.
Slim
Shout out
Burger.
Stu Holt. Slim What? Explain that to us.
So Slim Burger, it all started with my uncle Ozzy. He does a lot with the city, but he does a lot for the youth in general,
Absolutely.
especially basketball. I think he really helped me with this journey starting high school. But I always been called like Slim Reaper off the KD. But he put the Slim Burger on it because he thinks I'll be a McDonald's All-American one day. That's also the dream, to become a McDonald's All-American.
I love it.
So yeah, Slim Burger. That's what he called me on Facebook, social media.
I love it. You didn't think I knew that one.
That's underground. That's underground.
I had to dig for that one. Okay. And shout out, you talking about Ozzy Davis?
Yeah, shout out to Ozzy Davis.
Yep,
Yeah,
does a
shout
lot
out
for our community.
Yes, sir.
Tremendous amount, man. Shout out O. And the Queen City Prophets. Okay, let's jump into this.
Okay, so we have a North Coast Blue Chips jersey. Kids nowadays know them. I was one of the first people from Cincinnati and just in general to be part of the North Coast Blue Chips. And I just feel like that's also helped me to become who I am now. Because I was still in that shell when I was playing with Bronny. But playing in front of a lot of people, it fazed me as a kid. But now playing, like last game of high school season at UC Field Arena, it wasn't really nothing. It was just like another day in the office, just like something I'm used to by now.
Okay, I'm glad you brought this up. So the Blue Chips here, how'd you get on this team?
To be honest, I played with a team called Ignacio. In third grade, we had 5 players. We was going around the country with 5 players, beating everybody in the nation by like 30, 40. We was ranked 3rd. And all of a sudden, I got a text from my coach, one of our other coaches, Clyde Jackson. And he was like, I want you to try out for the North Coast Blue Chips. It was relatively new, so nobody knew who they was. And so I went up there, and I saw Bronny James. And I was like, oh, is that LeBron's son? I was like, oh, that's what's up. So then I made the team. Then we was doing the same thing, winning by 20. But it was also a little kick to it because I wasn't playing who I am today. If you see me then and see me today, you wouldn't think I'm the same person. I would look the same, but I wasn't the same person. So yeah, that's how it all started.
Who were some of the people on that team? You said Bronny?
Bronny, Gabe Cupps, Corey Thurman, and Ja'Cory Towns from Michigan, and there's a couple other kids from up northeast Ohio.
Wow. A lot of future stars.
Yep.
This big time. That's cool. And speaking of this in AAU, I'm an AAU guy. Mm-hmm. I really love AAU. How has AAU impacted your development?
I feel like AAU impacted my development by playing against kids from all over the nation. So you playing against kids from Canada, Texas, California, maybe even New York. None of the kids play the same. They might act the same, but you play them, you feel totally different. But you explore the game more and more, detail by detail.
And you are currently on which AAU team?
All Ohio Red EYBL.
Shout out Jerry Watson.
Shout out Jerry.
My guy, man, the director of All Ohio. I've known Jerry since I was in high school. Great guy. Matter of fact, he just called me the other day. We'll be up there for the Super 16 tournament. Mm-hmm. Great guy. So who are some of the people on your AAU team right now?
Mason Stroud, Calvin Little, Jackson Washington, many more.
And I think, like, so you were saying this earlier, I think one of the great things about AAU is the relationships you build with not only the people you're playing with, but then also the people you play against. Have you built some great relationships and stayed in contact with a lot of people?
Yeah, one of my best friends, probably forever, is Jaden Arnold. I met him during AAU. We was from Cincinnati when I was playing with OBC when they first started in second grade. Now he's been one of my best friends forever. So we played on the same AAU team until like 3rd, 4th grade, and we're still best friends to this day. So yeah, I'm always meeting new people, long term, short term. It's always a fun experience.
That's good, man. Those are great relationships, and a lot of those guys are going to play college basketball like yourself, and you guys end up, bumping into each other and staying in touch. And then, from an AAU standpoint, you know, you go around and you play in front of a lot of college coaches during the live period in April and in July. Your first taste of playing in front of a lot of college coaches was when?
Probably this time last year in the New York to LA and Louisville. But it wasn't really, I was playing in front of them. I was doing my thing, and some smaller colleges was calling bigger colleges. Then I was getting follows on Twitter, and that's when I started taking off from there.
How'd that make you feel?
I was in shock. Like my first follow on Twitter was Ohio State, and I was like, oh, this is real life. Like, this is what I'm finna step into. It's finna be a new life. Like, I felt refreshed.
Have you played in front of a college coach, or you seen a college coach walk into a game and you're like, oh man?
Actually, last weekend we played. It was crazy because I never talked to Michigan State, but Tom Izzo and the whole staff was there, and I was like, he's just sitting in front of the base down, like in front of the mat, and I was like, oh yeah, I gotta go crazy.
I gotta show out.
Yep.
And you did.
Yep.
You're all over Twitter, Instagram for your performance, man, and congrats.
Thank you.
You deserve that.
Yes,
I mean, you've been humble, you've been on the grind. I know you got a great support system as well. So, great items right here. Let's jump into your next item. You want me to turn again?
Nah.
We're good?
This one should be quick. All right. So,
all right.
So, yeah. So.
Okay. We got two.
Yeah, that's
we got several.
Elementary school.
Okay, let's go through this first one. You wanna?
Nah, this is really just about where I came from Frederick Douglass Elementary. I just feel like a lot of people don't know what it is, or a lot of people think it's like, oh, it's just another elementary school. It's my home. It's where I started, and I feel like it will always be where I feel comfortable. And that's why I love people and they love me. So I just feel like that's all I have to say about Frederick Douglass. And shout out Frederick Douglass, Mr. Hall, Miss Collins, Miss Smith, and thank you for everything y'all did for me these past years and for more.
That's awesome. That's good stuff. Remembering those people when you started. That's good. 2013.
Yep, old school. Old school.
It says here, Tyler, in recognition of excellent academics, attendance, and behavior.
See.
Now, this is why you'll be successful. You keep that up right there. That's good stuff. Okay. What we got here? We got Man of the Year?
Yeah. You
got Man of the Year?
Yes, sir.
Jeez. Talk about this. This is a big deal here.
Looking back at it, it's an organization for young men to better themselves and, go into manhood. And it really helps when you don't have a father figure. I mean, it really helps a lot. So stuff like that, helping you become organized, small stuff, even like how to tie a tie, stuff like that. So a little bit of stuff like that.
Can you tie a tie?
Nah, I forgot.
He forgot.
I forgot. I'm a cute boy. I forgot.
I'm gonna take this Man of the Year award back.
Yep.
You got to learn how to tie a tie again. You got me? Because you're gonna be wearing it a lot.
Yeah.
Got to wear it to the NBA draft one day. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Make sure you don't have a suit like, red pinstripes like Jalen Rose or something like that, right?
Yep.
Okay. We'll talk about this here.
Okay. This is my Aunt Chris. This is probably the nicest lady, one of the nicest people I ever met in my life. She meant so much to me. And I just feel like she's also one of the reasons I have this mentality I do today of becoming being great. She always told me I'd be something one day, become a superstar. So once she passed away, it crushed my soul. But I always remember she's always going to be with me. And I live and do everything for her, and I live through her.
Oh, that's awesome. That's important. Shout out her name here.
Aunt Christine Moore.
Yeah, 2020.
Yep.
She lived here in town.
Yep. We used to go there every holiday, eat dinner. It was the hot spot. Get a good plate.
She can cook. She hooked it up.
Everybody in the house could cook. So we just had a good time. We still do it to this day. So.
Now, if your brother was there, I know he probably had cupcakes and cookies because he's into all the sweets. Your brother Alex is the sweet plug. Like, he tells me where all the good cupcakes and snacks are. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure he pulled up ready for the.
Yeah, it was one year he ain't getting none because he dropped some cranberry sauce into the dishwater. So it's a true story.
Oh, so
you got to talk to him about that. He ain't gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
We have it on tape.
Yeah, we got it on tape. So you can see him right now. He's not too happy.
He was in timeout.
Big time out. Had him in the corner. Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit more about your support system, because as I look through this here, you talk about this Principals Award, Excellence, Academics, Attendance, Behavior, Man of the Year. This comes from, your upbringing and a great support system.
Yep.
Okay, so talk about your support system.
First, I'm gonna talk about my mom, and I feel like she manifested this before I was even born, because my middle name is Xander, so it means great. So she always thought, and she knows now, that I will always be great, and I would thank her for that. So I think my mom led me to the man that I am now. My brother, he's always been a big factor in my life, on and off the court. On the court, he helps me get better. Off the court, he helps me live life and stay on track, stay off doing bad things I'm not supposed to be doing, staying focused.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
And I think the great thing about that is they will hold you accountable, right? You fear consequences. You know better because they've taught you right, and they know you're not going to go out and do anything stupid, because if you do, you got to come and see those two folks, and that's not going to be good, right?
No, sir.
And there are some, and believe it or not, there are some young people out there that do not fear consequences. You can turn on the TV, you can look on social media, and you can see young people doing crazy stuff. They just don't fear those consequences. You do. Yeah. And that's a credit to those people that have raised you, man. So definitely shout out to them. And I do want to talk quickly a little bit more about Alex, your brother. Every step of the way, every gym that I go in, everywhere I see you, he's there.
Yep.
And it's positive energy.
Yep. It's always been positive energy. Even when he had me running hills in the third grade with elevation mask on.
Was he running the hills too?
No.
He wasn't? He was sitting there in the chair?
Yeah.
We got to talk about that.
Yeah. So he always been a mentor to me. Like, he always put me through workouts, like in young ages, that to this day I fear. Like running hills and running the track, like I hate it so much. But looking back at it, it helped me a lot mentally and physically to where I'm at now. And he's always building bonds with new people. I think he also helped me on his journey. He always outgoing, having a fun time, laughing, smiling, and that brought me here too. Always going out,
no question,
and helping people, and we help people. They help us. So it's always a mutual bond with people.
And he's great with relationships, relationship building, and that's something that if you take anything away from him, take that, because in life there are a lot of materialistic, like shoes. Most important thing in life is people. Yep. And the relationships you have with those, and helping others, and others help you. So take that with you,
yes, sir.
Along your journey. So as we talk about, your journey, one of the things that is a hot topic is going to be your recruiting.
Yep.
Not only now, but over the next couple years. And there's something I want to talk about. A lot of young people today always talk about, when they talk about, really good players like yourself, what star they are. So you're a 4-star right now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You will eventually be a 5-star. Okay. That will happen. What does that mean to you? Because for some kids, they look at it a certain way. What does being a 4-star and eventually a 5-star mean to you?
For me, it's like a dream come true. Seeing them stars next to my name has always been a dream. I worked hard for it, but at the same time, I don't think it means anything. If you're not putting the work in and consistently going after it, it doesn't mean anything. Because it could be some kid working right now, and he could be in the NBA 5 years from now, and he could be better than you.
Yeah.
I feel like stars are only temporary.
Yep. I love it. And to your point, you talked about McDonald's All-American before. There are players, many players, that have played in the McDonald's All-American game, that played in that game, were top players in the country, and years later you never hear anything about them. And then you've got guys like Steph Curry, C.J. McCollum, Dame Lillard, guys that flew under the radar that are all-stars, right?
Yep.
So as you talk about, putting that work in and staying humble. With that being said, you're recruiting. How has the recruiting process been for you, being that you're you're a sophomore and the hype's picking up, man? How have you been able to deal with that?
It was, when I first started my recruiting process, it was a little crazy because it was me going to my freshman into my sophomore year. So I wasn't expecting to be early. I know I was going to get recruited maybe a little bit, but not as how much I am now. But it's a fun experience because it also goes into building bonds, because you never know I might not commit to the school, but you never know when you're going to run back into them people, and you might send somebody their way. I feel like it's a fun experience, and it's a dream come true.
Let's talk about some of the schools that are recruiting you. Now, can you remember all? I don't want you to slight anybody, but can you remember the majority of them?
Yeah, UC, Ohio.
I'm glad you brought
State.
UC first. Keep going.
Kansas State, Dayton today, Miami of Ohio, West Virginia, and South Carolina.
So a lot of good schools, a lot of good coaches. When making your decision for college, what are some of the things that factor in for you? And I told you before we got started here, I told you a story about when I met Sauce Gardner when he first started at UC, and he talked about being part of a family and what he was looking for. For you, what are you looking for?
For me, first, I think is being at home, being comfortable, meeting people that I'm comfortable with, coaches that I don't feel like they're going to take me for granted.
I think those are great things. And I think, so like some of the things you talked about, the first part, like with Sauce Gardner, and, he's going to be, for those who don't know, Sauce played football at the University of Cincinnati, should be a top 5 pick in the draft, which is tonight.
Yep.
He said in an interview on national TV that Cincinnati will always be his home, even though he's from Detroit. Like, he feels he can always come back to the University of Cincinnati and this city and be a big part of this community. And I think that's important, and that's important for you to be able to, whatever college you go to, feel like, when you make it to the next level, NBA or whatever, you can go back and always get that love.
Yep.
And if you ever need anything, resources, you can go back. This Sunday, one of the top players in Cincinnati, Rayvon Griffith, will make his decision on which college he's going to go play at. And he's making it, obviously, during this part of the spring. He still has a whole nother year to go. Have you thought about when you want to make your decision?
Probably at the same time, either during going to my senior year or sometime during my senior season. I think that should be a good time because the recruitment will be finalized, and I feel like I'll find my home during that time.
Do you feel like you'll go into your senior year a little more comfortable, like, got that all out the way, let me just hoop?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Yeah, because I know one of those goals is to win a state championship, right?
Yes, sir.
Imagine this. I just thought about this. And I think you have next 2 years, and especially with you being one of the centerpieces at Walnut Hills, you have a chance to win a state championship.
Yes, sir.
At the high school level. To win a state championship in high school and then win a national championship in college, I don't know too many people that have done that from this city. Maceo Teague obviously went on and won it at Baylor. I don't know that he didn't win one in high school,
no,
right? You could be that could be elite company right there.
Yep.
Now, a shout-out and plug to UC. Now, if you win a state championship at Walnut and then stay in Cincinnati and win one at UC, no one has ever done that. Man, they would have a parade for you, right? Put a statue up.
Yep.
Man, I'm just saying, just a little plug. My bad.
Little plug.
Just a little plug. But I do want to jump back quickly to Walnut Hills. And as you talk about these different people that have impacted your life and your journey, we definitely can't leave out Ricardo Hill and what he's done for you. If you want to talk about your head coach, Ricardo Hill.
Coach Ricardo, he also played a big factor before even high school. I used to work out with the high school kids, like after school in 4th, 5th grade, girls or boys. So I always been in that high school setting. So like, I always thought he was a little crazy. But I love the energy he brings.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes he's out there playing with me sometimes, jumping up and down, slapping the floor like he's on defense. I just feel like he's a great coach, and I feel like me and Ricardo will always have a relationship forever.
That's good. So what is he telling you in terms of your development over the next 2 years that you really need to focus in on?
I think Coach Ricardo wants me to have a pro body, building more muscle, getting better conditioning, so I can withstand anything that comes my way.
I like that. You guys this past season, you guys had a great season. I think you guys was it 23-3?
Yeah,
23-3.
Yep.
Lost to Fairfield on a heartbreaking game.
Yep.
At the Centos. It was at UC. It was
Yep.
at UC. You guys had a tremendous season. 15-1 in the league.
Yep.
Only lost to, I think it was Turpin,
Turpin.
at home.
Yep, in the season.
Yeah.
Right before the tournament.
In the ECC league, I love the ECC, and you guys have always been one of the tops in the ECC every year. And Turpin, as well, is always up there. And Brady Hardawig from Turpin, he's the second leading scorer in the league. You were first at 17.2, points a game. What was impressive, what I liked was you were the leading field goal percentage guy at like 68.9, something like that. That's very impressive. So when you factor in, and I know you're a win guy. Our producer, Stu Holt, for this What's in Your Bag show, he also coaches at Walnut Hills. And when I was talking to him about you, he just talked about, what a great kid you are, how humble you are, but he just talked about your win-first mentality, doing whatever it takes, to win. In order for Walnut Hills to not only be successful next year, but then your senior year, a lot's on you.
Yep.
Okay? So you are going to impact how far Walnut Hills basketball goes. With that being said, what are some of your personal goals for next season?
I think just becoming a better player, improving on everything. Not just stats, but talking on defense, moving without the ball. I just feel like it's small stuff that leads to bigger goals than what the bigger picture. So maybe even just diving on the floor more, or helping my teammates out mentally. Maybe having a bad game, talk to them, get them back in the game. That gotta be an impact.
Do you find? I mean, obviously, it's one of those things where you are young, you're a sophomore, but you are the best player on the team.
Yep.
How does that impact your leadership and your vocal? Because you got to be careful because you got seniors, right?
Yep. Vocal, I think it all started off the court. I'm not really a guy that's just going to just push you around just because I'm a good player. I'm just a normal kid like everybody else. So I don't take that advantage of anybody else. So maybe if we have a discussion, maybe we just go into the huddle, talk to coach, and we just talk it all out, and then we get back to the game and we make that correction. Or we have an error and a kid holding his head, we make sure he get bounced back, and we gotta keep going. We can't lack.
I'm glad you brought that up. So I'm gonna test you on your leadership here.
I got you.
After the Fairfield game, how do you handle that as a leader, knowing that you have 2 more years?
Yep.
The seniors, that's it. And in fact, one of the seniors on your team, that was it for him, and he impacted the game in a negative way. Was not, all his fault. There are a lot of things that impact the game, but I know he's got to take that in a hard way. How do you address that as a leader?
As a leader, I had to see it as a senior's perspective. Not I got 2 more years left. That doesn't matter. It's more of like, we all got to get better, and this is his last game, so we got to think of it as a brotherhood. So making sure he's okay, he's comforted, and make sure he's always loved. And it's just, we will leave it in the past and we go forget about it. But we always make sure he's good, and we just loved him after that. Even if it was a heartbreaking loss, ended our season, we bounced back mentally.
So what do you say to and I'm always intrigued by the answers to this, but so it's your sophomore year, you guys losing a heartbreaker. What's your mentality as you're going to the locker room? That's got to motivate you. You obviously you're down, but that's got to motivate you for the next year, the year after, right?
Yep. My mentality was that was a tough loss. But the second thing, I was like, we got to get better and get ready, not only for the next season, but I got a big goals ahead of me, even for the summer, next season, just in general. I can't hang my head up on one loss. You lost 2 and you're not going to win every game. So you got to see that. Sometimes you lose them worse than others, heartbreaking. But I just feel like that's a building aspect. They'd be like, oh, you felt that before, you don't want to feel it again.
Yep. Don't want to feel that again. Let's look a little bit into the future, okay? So one of the things is, I talk to young people about things I've learned on my journey is that you want to set long-term goals, right? And then on that journey to achieve those long-term goals, you've got to have short-term goals in between. For you, Tyler, what are some of your long-term goals, even beyond basketball?
I think becoming a very legendary person in the city, just being a Cincinnati kid, doing my thing in basketball.
I love that.
And I just want everybody to know that I'm from Cincinnati. Everybody sees Cincinnati as like a dark, gloomy town. I just want to be just that guy to show like, we do other stuff. We play basketball like Ray, what he's doing right now. I'm right there behind him. I want to put on for the city.
Yeah, I love that, man. I love that. Do you think about when you watch TV? Do you think about the NBA and playing there eventually?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I talk to a couple guys. I talk to Jackson Hayes every once in a while.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, on Instagram. Yup. Yeah, he's a really good mentor. I love watching him play, and I just like I seen kids go from EYBL. That's one of the reasons I joined the EYBL. I seen kids go from EYBL, now they in NBA jerseys. I just feel like seeing kids like maybe a couple years, like 6 years older than me, being in the place I am now shows me that I'm really living this life. Then I can really be there one day.
Yeah, I love that you reached out to Jackson and you
Yep.
ask him for advice or just communicate, just talking to him and communicate and see where his mindset is. I think that's good. I think that's important. You got to continue to do that. But then when the roles reversed and you're at that level and people reach out to you, you've got to do the same, right?
Yep. Yes, sir. It's the only way.
Only
Get
way.
back.
So with that being said, for those young people that are out there watching this, what advice would you give to them in their journey in basketball?
Journey of basketball. For the first couple of years, you can have fun, but at a certain point in time, it becomes a business. And once it becomes a business, you have to take it seriously. Don't care about it. I know the media is a big thing now, but if the media comes to you, it comes to you, and if it don't, it don't. But it's always going to be a lot of pressure behind you, and I just feel like pressure, it's good or bad. It depends how you take it. It all depends on you. So, and also just have fun, live life. Don't live by somebody else's standards. Just because somebody else says you're not good, just show them that you do you, and you just have fun.
I'm glad you brought that up because oftentimes, as people are on their rise to the top, everyone loves them, right? Because they're on their rise. But when they reach a certain level, then people start to
Feel wishy-washy.
they start to feel a certain way. I feel like with you, there's so much love for you. You're a lovable guy, right? You're doing great, and everybody's loving you on your journey right now. But there will come a time.
Yep. There'll be some hate.
It's going to come your way. And people are going to be saying, oh, he's not good enough to go here. He can't do this and that. Have you thought about that, and how are you going to deal with that?
Yeah, I faced a little bit of it last year. People said I'm not good, but I just brush it off because that means I'm doing something right. I mean, if they said I'm not good and I'm putting up the numbers and I'm showing you physically, I just feel like they just love you more. I just feel like it's always it's just a mental aspect of the game. Hate, you just turn it back on them, then just kill.
Yep. I love it. Couple more things. So I want to jump into a little bit of fun stuff, and I always ask players this: when you're getting pumped up for a big game, all right, you got your headphones on. What are you listening to? What gets you fired up?
Man, to be honest, I don't like getting fired up. I like coming to myself. So I might just throw on some old Drake, maybe some Janae Aiko, and I just be calm and I just.
You like the love music before you play,
Yeah,
huh?
I'm mellowed down because I feel like if I get too pumped up, I almost just start doing some nonsense. I'm just be too jittery. So I just like coming to myself, just being calm, and just like taking deep breaths and chill.
Because it's a lot different now. So when I was growing up, everyone listened to the same songs because everyone had like there's like one boombox in the locker room. In college, there was like this big stereo, and everyone listened to whatever Kenyon Martin wanted to listen to. We were listening to because he was the man, he was the leader. And now everybody's got their own individual headphones. And I think some players, I think it may have been Jacob Connor, different people were telling me like, no, it was Bowen Hardman was saying like Russell Westbrook listens to like classical music, which is bizarre because
he plays very aggressive to be listening to classical
right?
music. Like he be attacking the rim, but like listening to class. I would never think that.
I would never.
Yeah.
Not at all. So you like a little Drake to?
Yeah, a little something just to calm down. Some old Drake. So yeah, something to chill to.
Nothing wrong with that. So what I do is during these interviews, I always like to listen what the player has to say. And my favorite rapper of all time is Jay-Z.
Okay.
He's my GOAT. Who's your GOAT? Are you gonna say Drake?
Yeah, say some Drake.
Drake's your GOAT. You like Jay-Z? You listen to Jay-Z?
A little Jay-Z when my people's put it on. I listen to anything.
Okay.
So I'm cool with it.
So yeah, I'm a big Jay-Z guy. So Jay-Z's music has been, and Drake will probably be this for you, but he's kind of made the soundtrack, for my journey. I've always listened to his music along the way, and his lyrics have always, kind of impacted me. And I think about, like, I'll do something or be around people, and I just think about Jay-Z lyrics all the time. So what I like to do is listen to a player, listen to him talk, and then I think of a Jay-Z line that would apply to them. So you ready for this?
So hold on, what do I do? I just talk?
No, I already got it. So I listen to you. So
okay,
I listen to you talk,
all right,
and I think about maybe a Jay-Z line that applies to what you've said thus far.
All right.
So I got to kind of like just.
All right.
So Jay-Z had a song that he kind of. It was a dedicated song to Biggie. Biggie who passed away, Notorious B.I.G. And Notorious B.I.G. had the famous song, which I think is one of the most popular hip hop songs ever, that he starts off, "It was all a dream."
Mm-hmm. That's my mom's favorite song.
That's your mom's favorite song?
Yeah.
She can help me out. I used to read. I love it. I love it, Mom. Thank you. So you've got that song, right? It was all a dream. So Jay-Z, because Biggie was such an impact in his life, so Jay-Z decided, I'm going to do a song where B.I.G. is talking to me from heaven, and he's kind of giving me like advice and thoughts, because everyone in life goes through stuff, right? You go through ups and downs, and you look for either signs or people to give you advice. And so Jay-Z made this very introspective song I thought was great, and it's Jay-Z explaining a dream he had talking to B.I.G. And in the song, he goes, it's called A Dream. He goes, and hopefully I get all the lyrics right because I'm going off the top of my head. He goes, B.I.G. said, "Hove, remind yourself, nobody's built like you. You design yourself." "I agree," I said. "My one-of-a-kind self gets stoned every day like Jesus did." And he said, "What I said's been said before. Keep doing your thing," he said. I said, "Say no more." So why I thought about you for that is because nobody's built like you. You design yourself. You're one of one. Then the other part to it was, he said, "I get stoned like Jesus stoned every day." So people are going to eventually throw stones at you when you reach that level. But keep doing your thing. And he says, "Say no more." Is that good?
That was good.
You like that?
Yeah, that was deep.
Jay-Z's got to watch this. So Jay, holler at me. That's one of my. I got to meet Jay-Z one day. Not a lot of people I want to meet. Jay-Z's definitely one of them. Who's somebody you might want to meet eventually on your journey? You're gonna meet a lot of people.
Probably J. Cole.
J. Cole.
Yeah, I like J. Cole. He's very lyrically, he talks a lot. I like the way he talks. Yeah.
He's got a lot of deep stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of good stuff. He's put out a lot of good features recently.
Facts.
I think maybe you and I could talk music a lot. I like that. Well, listen, I want to thank you for coming on What's in Your Bag. Enjoyed hearing about your journey, but I think the beauty of this is, you just finished up your sophomore year. We talked about this, but we've got to come back. We got to do this again.
I'd be glad to come back anytime.
I love it. And we're gonna bring this all around full circle, man, and really follow your journey. And hopefully the young people out there, I know they're watching you, because everybody in the city that plays hoops knows who you are, and they're watching you. And so you're gonna achieve that dream, NBA one day, be a legend in Cincinnati.
Yes, sir.
Sound good?
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you coming on the
Thank
show.
you for having me.
Yeah, man. All right, Tyler. One of the great things about coming on this show, free food.
Free food?
Yep, Penn Station. Shout out Penn Station, one of our sponsors here. I got a bunch of free coupons here. You like Penn Station?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
When you gonna go?
Probably right after this. If it's free food, I'm in.
You're in? Hey, do me a favor. Give Penn Station a shout out.
Shout out Penn Station. Shout out the lemonade with no ice and the Philly cheesesteaks.
Ooh.
Extra mayo.
There you go.
For sure.